in the beginning.
Right. That's what I be saying. Hello, you all. Welcome once again. This here is Shavonda Marie with Love, Strength, and Love. Today I have another special guest, and I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hello. Thank you for having me. So, if you all don't know, I am Tashemia Dean. Everyone calls me Coach Miss T, and I am the owner and founder of nonprofit Fight Anxiety, Addiction, and Adversity Corporation, as well as a non-alcoholic beverage company called Surrendered Spirits.
Beautiful. See, that's why I knew I had to let you introduce yourself.
It's so much more too. I'm like, let me just summarize.
But that's beautiful. That's amazing. And then once again, thank you. Or I don't know if I said it or not, but thank you for coming on.
No problem.
It's always a pleasure to hear other people's story.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love when people share their story. So I'm gonna turn this way a little bit,
okay.
so I can look at you because I like to, watch my guests as they speak. Look, that's okay. So how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. God is good.
Yes.
With His strength, I can do all things.
Hey,
So,
say that.
mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you, baby. All right, you all. Once again, thank you for tapping in with me and my guest, Tashemia. It is such a pleasure for you all to just be stopping by, even if you stop by with showing the love. That's beautiful too, y'all. Thank you. But today we are talking about measuring success. Now, success can be measured in different types of ways. Okay. So we're talking about we could go from person to person, or it could go depending on your values and goals. Okay. It can actually be a success change, or it could be different stages. Look, I always be trying to read off my cards and then not read off my cards.
Hey, look, it's good to be prepared. Sometimes God makes he'll move. Like,
and that's what it be like. Just speak. Like, anyways, you are. Success is just something just beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there like that. So we have Tashemia just speaking about her story when it came to success, and we're talking about not just in career, but also just life changes as well. How do you measure success?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say now I measure success differently than I used to. I used to measure success based on timing. Okay. I had to have this by this age. I had to do this by this age. And as I got older, I realized that taking my time, strategizing, also allowing God to lead, you're going to be successful if you just pace yourself and you're patient.
Okay.
When you try to rush things in your own time and your own will, things typically don't work out. And I am a prime example of that, trying to do things within my own strength.
Yes.
And literally having to piggyback back to the square one just because I chose to get out of alignment, with what the plan that God had for me. So I would say measuring success for me is basically now it's working according to my purpose. If it's aligned with my purpose, then I know that the situation or what I'm doing is going to be a success.
Right. And I was just going to ask you, how has it changed over time? But you already didn't answer that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So do you think success is more about achieving goals or finding fulfillment?
I think it depends. It depends because for me, it would be it's how I was brought up.
Okay.
So being the oldest of 6 individuals, I accomplished a lot of goals, but I never got praised for it.
Right.
It was like, you got straight A's, okay, good.
Right.
But then my siblings, if they got, if they were like hard-headed all the time, back bag and suspended, and as soon as they do something good, they're getting praised for it because it's not the norm for them. So I think, I'm sorry, what was the question again?
That's okay. It's do you think success is more about achieving the goals or finding fulfillment?
Okay, so yes, that's so. So when I was younger, it was more of wanting that fulfillment from achieving the goal because I wasn't getting the praise that I wanted.
Right.
But as I got older and started having my own kids, I started to notice that it became more about the goals, but also the fulfillment in what it's going to do for them.
Right.
You know, like, am I setting up, am I creating this foundation for their future versus for just, for me? And I always tell them that now because they're adults. I have a 20-year-old and I have a 18-year-old son.
Wow.
And it's like, thank you. When I was raising y'all, I did what I had to do. I had to do a lot of sacrificing, to get you to where you are today. Now I'm an empty nester. I'm still young. I'm living my life. Now I do what I want to do.
Yes.
So it's a difference. So I would say for me today, it's accomplishing those goals, but it's also for my family. And then also I do want to receive some fulfillment in that.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that God is pleased in every decision and every accomplishment that I'm making in life.
Right, as you find that fulfillment. Yes. Hello, you all. Thank you for tapping in with us. We got a few guests and tapped in. I can't really see who they are, but hello. Thank you for joining us. And once again, we're talking about measuring success. All right. So, what role do you think society expects you to play when you're shaping the measurements of success?
Society. See, society has a different, I would say, spectrum of rules. And if you're not playing the game according to their rules, then sometimes you'll get X'd out, and sometimes you may get put on a pedestal.
Right.
But it depends on how you look at it. Like, am I trying to find this success to please society, or am I trying to maintain the success to please, when it comes to values? What are your values? For me, it's like, okay, I'm not doing it for people. I'm doing it for God's fulfillment. And then I'm also want to make sure that everything is aligning with His will. And that's something new for me because I remember I was a people pleaser, you know?
Yes.
And, and that's where that anxiety will kick me in because I'm thinking like, okay, well, this person may be looking at me this type of way, or they may feel this type of way about me because I'm not excelling as fast as enough, or I'm not doing certain things to their standard, you know what I mean? And now I feel like I gotta rush. Now that timing comes in again, I gotta do this by this time, but it's like, no, society doesn't dictate, how I move when it comes to success.
Yes, it's God's timing, baby. Yes. So, how do you balance out the ambition when it comes to you pursuing success in your life?
My ambition sometimes can come from my anxiety. I can be so ambitious when it comes to doing something.
Right.
It creates me to be very anxious. Like I have to try to pinpoint like which one is it at times. But then I have to kind of calm myself down because that excitement can get a little bit chaotic sometimes. So when I have those thoughts and those great ideas, and most of the time it's like in the evening time, I tend to sit down and I write out what's going on because it'll be so many different ideas in my head, and I'm like, okay. And one of my business coach used to always tell me, write it down, so I write it down. But then I get to that place of like, I can get so ambitious where I start to execute on what it is that I want to do. But then if it's not going according to how I want it to go, I'll start feeling discouraged because now I'm looking at this person and what they're doing. I'm like, oh, well, she's doing it like that, or he's doing it like that. And now I'm sizing myself up Now you
right. You looking at yourself like, wait.
So now I don't even finish what I was ambitious like that. I don't finish it anymore.
Right.
Because now I'm looking at this person's progress. So, and then also too, again, that's where the anxiety comes in.
Right.
I start to X myself out because I feel like I can't execute like this person.
Right.
Or now I'm like looking at everything I'm doing wrong versus trying to receive help from somebody or ask for help. You know, so that's that ambition sometimes can be, it depends.
Get mixed up, literally. And I can definitely understand that when it comes to the anxiety and all of that, it does. It kind of, what I want to say, mix things up. Yes.
I will put myself in delay. Seriously, myself in delay because of the anxious thoughts, because of the negative thoughts, because of I'm so like proud and I don't want to reach out and ask for help. You know what I mean? So, and I have to catch myself sometimes. I'm like, girl, you got all of these contacts. You know, all these people.
Right. And they love
you. And, you know, all that. Right. Exactly. You don't even want to reach out. You know.
So what you think that be the biggest thing that causes that when we get so excited and we just start to let it take over us, and then we go and take over us, and then we just on the go, and then we just get in delay. What do you think caused that?
Well, mine is from my childhood trauma. So what I was saying earlier is that, you know, I was ambitious to get good grades, to do certain things the right way, and doing everything good, and was never being praised for it. You know, when I'm expecting to get praised for it like my brothers and sisters were getting praised for it, and then all of a sudden all I get is a pat on the back. You know, it's like, okay, now that delay come in, or you know, it's like, okay, now I feel discouraged because now I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of doing all of this if I'm not going to get that good luck, or I'm not going to get that, you know, congratulations, or I'm not going to get that that support that you actually yearn for when you're younger. So that's where mines come in from. So I have to recognize, like, okay, this is your inner child. This is Shima talking. This is not Tashima. You know, so she starts to keep come out, and it's like, okay, let me put my grown woman drawers on.
Right. And when you say that, do you get to motivating yourself and pushing yourself?
Yes. I get to motivate myself. Then I will call my best friend. I'm like, look, I need some wisdom. I need you to, like, you know, clap for me, or, you know, sometimes I don't even have to tell her. She already knows.
And that's the most beautiful piece, when you got those that's already in tune with you. And now, as soon as you feel inside, they like pick up the phone. You like, I need somebody to talk to, and then that phone call come through.
It's like our souls or our spirits or something is connected, because I could be going through something, and she'll text me and she'll say, hey, bestie, I'm just checking on you.
Yep.
How you doing? You know, I love you. We need to get together. You know, I need you to check this event out. Like, she be wanting to have eyes on me.
Right.
So I understand. I just get it.
And that feels so good. Just, I be getting that too. That's why I'm sitting here like,
I love that.
I love those feelings. Yes. Yep. How do you measure success in a term when it comes to health and your well-being?
So for me right now, it would be my mental health. For those individuals who don't know, I've been in recovery from alcohol abuse for 2.5 years. I believe it's 900 and I sometimes I know the days. Right. I always gotta look at my calendar, my sober calendar, but I'm not even gonna do that. But it's 2.5 years,
and that's beautiful. Yes. I'm gonna give you a clap up. I don't know what to think. I always forget that thing, but I'm gonna clap just because that's so beautiful. Thank you. And I'm gonna say it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Look now that I praise myself when it be coming to girls, to stop drinking alcohol in this world today is not easy. And that's why I was saying success when it comes to making sure my mental health is A1. It's not always A1. being able to check in with myself and understand my thoughts and understanding how I'm feeling and knowing and tapping into those tools that I know that I have to utilize to kind of get back to being good, because I struggle with some things, and I think a lot of us, we struggle with a lot of things, but how many of us are actively utilizing our tools and checking in with ourselves mentally to make sure that we're okay? Because we can be on the go, like constant, and not understand. And I know for me, like I would go days without eating because I'm so that ambition,
wrapped up in it.
That anxiety kicking in and all this, and I'm working and I'm working.
Hold on, wait.
And then now I got headaches, and now I'm feeling nauseous, and it's like, why I feel like this, girl? You ain't ate. I'm like, well, why I ain't lost no weight then? No inches, you know?
Look, I definitely can. I can relate to that. My little sister and my baby would be like, Mike, you hungry? Like, dang, you know this before me? Okay.
Right.
But yeah.
So that success is like it with the mental health. I have to make sure that's priority. Making sure that I'm tapping in with God, with everything when it comes to just my mental state. And then also when it comes to health, some days I could be good with that when it comes to making sure I'm putting the right things in my body with eating. But, life gets to life. And I get to going back to a process, baby.
Right. Right now, I got too much going on. Let me do this.
Exactly. So, and it's like, and then some days I do want to take that time. And I do want to love on myself. And I want to make sure that I'm putting the right and healthy things in my body. I just haven't gotten to that place of actually working out more consistently like I used to, just because of my injury. So I had Achilles surgery a year and a half ago, and Achilles tendon repair surgery. So I have a lot of issues with mobility at times. Some days I can be okay, and some days I'm not okay. So I don't wish that on nobody to have a Achilles tendon repair. I don't know how basketball players deal with it. Like how can you have several Achilles tendon issues within 1 year? Like that's a lot. I'm dealing, So I'm really trying to get back on the bandwagon with actually working out and getting healthy when it comes to not just weight wise, but just I want to get in shape. Get back in shape.
Well, it's a process. So as long as you know that's what you want to do, you're an ambition, baby.
I am.
You gonna get it, baby.
These days just gotta slow down just a little bit.
Yes. But it's okay, because as long as you know that let me slow down, then for me, I feel like it's okay. Like we all have those moments. Have you ever felt success but unfulfilled? And then if you have, how did that turn, or how did you learn from a lesson from it? Or what kind of lesson did you learn from it?
Success but unfulfilled. I guess it would be so I've been working at the VA for almost 18 years now.
Oh wow.
And I worked in different departments, and I worked in one department where I was like one of the leads, and and it was pretty it was a struggle just because of all of the responsibilities. But one of the things when you're working in like corporate America, some people don't really like when us people have so much power or we have so much access to benefits. So when a certain group of people found out that it was a lot of us making good money, and have access to these great benefits, they kind of took away a lot of our responsibilities, because trying to demote us because of that, because they didn't want us to be up here. So I think that can be the downfall of it all, is that when people don't see the greatness in you, and then there's that hate there, and it's like that you're deserving of so much, and you love your job. Like, I love my job, and even my team, like, we love to do what we were doing when it was taking care of the veterans, but the higher ups didn't see that potential, or they didn't see that in us, so they just wanted to, it's that, again, that hate. So I think that's where that discouragement comes in. When it comes to success, it's like, okay, you get to a place, and then you got people who have the power and the authority to kind of pull you back. And I didn't really like that. And of course, I went to a different department. I went back to school, got my healthcare management degree, and now I work in administration, and I'm up there right on with them. So
that's what you call
So
don't stop, baby.
Exactly.
Don't stop.
Right.
Yes, and I congratulate you on that.
Thank
too.
You.
So yes, baby, you doing your thing out here.
I just want to add this though too. Also working, because I work for the government.
Right.
It's hard to be in a position where you feel like you are successful when it comes to just monetary value, and also education. But sometimes I feel like our president is like, his office is right next door. You know what I mean? Because every day there's an email, every day there's something changing, and it's like, and it's all coming from him. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. Here we go again. Here's another change. So it's like, I've been working from home remotely for, like, I would say 3-4 years now.
Okay.
And now I got to go into the office starting May 5th, Monday through Friday. So it's like, where is the success in that? I decorated my office, got a nice desk. My son bought me a real comfortable chair. I can't. I'm like, okay.
Now y'all want me to go back in the office.
Okay, God. But we look at success, and I'm like, God said, but I'm creating something else for you. So, the nonprofit, I'm like, okay, I see you.
Yeah, right.
I see you guys.
So I'll go back in the office.
Yes. Can't wait to retire. Man.
So how did you, or how do you celebrate the small wins when you just walk through when you're walking through success?
Girl, I am. Again, I'm telling you that childhood trauma is something else.
Right.
I celebrate everything. You better ask my kids. We celebrate everything. You got a happy face? Yes, we want this ice cream. Sure. Man, I celebrate everything. Even like with my sobriety, every day to me is a celebration to know that I've completed a day of not going back. You know what I mean? And then also showing up for my friends and loving on them and celebrating them. If I can celebrate everybody, girl, I'll celebrate everybody. Because I'm telling you, that childhood trauma of be doing good things and expecting praise and you don't get it, look, I'm making up for that. Man,
everybody gets
my kids will tell you, I celebrate everything, every little thing. I'm telling you. And then even the big stuff too, we going all out.
Right.
We going all out.
So what is something that you do? Like, I know you said go get ice cream.
Right.
What else would you do just to celebrate for you?
For me, so that's how I started the dry cross.
Okay.
So in the beginning of my recovery, so I knew I was always like a social person, but I was trying to find my way back into the social thing differently, of course. And I'm like, I want to go here and I want to go there, but I know they probably, I don't know how it's going to feel.
Right.
So I started to like research different establishments, and I was like, I would go to these different places and try their mocktail menus, and they had one. And then if they didn't have one, I would talk to the owners about getting one and the importance of having one because of people who are living in sobriety. And not only that, you got women that's pregnant that can't drink. You have people who are on certain medications that can't drink. And after I made it as like a self-care thing and also a celebration for me.
Yes.
To kind of like wine and dine myself and, with non-alcoholic wine and stuff, and a steak.
Right.
Yeah. I created the dry. Well, I didn't create it. There was the dry crawls have been going on for a long time in our country for a while, but I brought it to Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I started having 2 dry crawls every year, and that's where like-minded individuals like myself, or even people who are sober curious, can get together, and we go to different establishments and we try their non-alcoholic beverage menu, and then we just talk about our sobriety and things, and we just have fun and enjoy ourselves. So I think for me that's one of the things that I that's how I started.
Right.
Now to me, self-care is like, okay, I'll go. Like I just went on I went to a conference in at the Dells.
Okay.
And it was a work conference, but I ended up turning it into a self-care self-care conference, and I had got my beauty sleep pajamas. Look. And I love the pajamas. Shout out to Kendra.
Yes.
The pajamas are so comfortable. Typically I can't wear certain clothes because my age where I'm sweating, but I can wear these pajamas and I don't sweat.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beauty sleep, y'all. Yes. Shout out. Go check her out. She is out here, y'all.
And they're so
Instagram.
Cute.
Yes. And then she also have a shop. Where's that, on Farwell, right?
It's on Farwell. Yes. And the Mill Company.
Yes. Shouts out, y'all. Go check them out, y'all. The sleepwear is beautiful. Me and my baby got us some too. Yes. Okay, back to what does it mean to live successful outside of career or just financial goals for you?
I would say for me, just because I'm in a time in my life where I'm trying to live a life worthy of God in His eyes. So when being successful in that in His eyes is treating people the right way, loving them the right way, being compassionate, being understanding, being a giver, also making sure that I'm being a good steward, of all things. When I see someone in need, try my best to be of assistance. Also teaching,
that's a beautiful thing.
And making sure that I'm sharing my testimony, because my testimony is powerful and I know that it can help other individuals. And I think another thing is just being bold and being bold in my sobriety and not being ashamed of it. I used to be ashamed of it, like feeling like I can't be in certain rooms or certain places because I didn't drink. But now I show up bold and proud. And I show people you can be, you can be a boss female, boss queen, living in sobriety and still being out here in the social world in a different way. So, and then also I meet so many different people, because you'll be surprised how many people are struggling with the same things and they don't know how to live a meaningful life without the alcohol. And then to see somebody like me being able to be in certain places and enjoy themselves, still dancing, still having fun, still joking around. And they like, you ain't got nothing in your cup. You got no lean in your cup? No, girl. I got no lean. It's clean. That's a nice look.
Oh, that's a nice logo. Okay. I see, girl. Oh, yeah. That's nice. It is. A lot of people think that they are not able to do it, y'all. But here she is. She is telling y'all right here, this is how you do it. This is some tips that you can take from her. And she's out here as well. Like she said, y'all, just tap into her. It's amazing, y'all. We can do whatever it is that we want to do, especially when people say that we can't do it. That's when we should have the ambitions to really do it.
That gives me the motivation and the
drive. Yes. Oh man, this is so powerful. Like I said, I just love to hear other people's stories. Like even it's not the struggle that I had with alcohol, but just other things in life. And it's like, dang, that's powerful because it is something else that we can do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh wow. So how do you measure success? Oh, I just read that one, my bad. Oh no. I'm sorry. So we just talked about outside of careers. Now what about with careers or just in your business? How do you measure success?
I would say in my businesses right now, it's different because the nonprofit is a nonprofit, and then the profitable business is a profitable business. But um, it's not really too much of a success where I want it to be, just
Right.
because I haven't been consistent in certain areas. And then also just running a nonprofit in general is difficult.
Okay.
So I think God is actually leading me into a place where I can run it full time, just
Right.
because of the opportunities that I've been handed recently. And then also because I'm not going to be able to work a 9 to 5 too long,
Right.
by having all of these different things on my plate. And then also, um, I'm looking forward to it too. So it's like to be able to help people, to be able to utilize not only my education but my lived experience.
Yes.
You know, I think that trumps education.
Yes, it does.
Because I'm living it day by day, and I share my progress.
Yes.
It's not an easy road. And I want to be, and then to be able to profit off of it too, like profit off your testimony,
right? Like, I really believe that's the way though God intended us to actually be. Instead of we like, I gotta go to work, I gotta pay these bills, and It's like, hold on, just hold on.
Yeah,
it's gonna come, but just get yourself together first. Allow yourself to be able to step out and just enjoy others people's company. Be patient with them. Like, it's gonna come.
Right. and you're supposed to have joy.
Yeah.
And peace, and then even through the suffering, like Paul, is that still got to find joy in that. It's like if I'm going to work to my 9 to 5 and I can't find no joy and I don't have no peace, that's not my calling. That's not what I'm supposed to. So there's an exit time. There's a time of expiration coming right around the corner,
and it's gonna be pushing you. Like, you see, it's coming. It's coming.
So success. Prepare yourself. When it comes to that, is that 20 years, I'm up out of there.
Yes. Excuse me. How do you handle the setbacks or the failures when later on or as you walk through success in your life, whether it's now or that you didn't have before?
For me, it depends. I don't give up.
Number one, baby.
But I do have to say this though. So my daughter, she is 20 years old, like I said, and I told her I was gonna share this story as much as I can because it is it's such an inspiring story.
Right.
So she was diagnosed with ADHD and a comprehension disorder at the age of 7. And the doctors actually told me that she was gonna struggle throughout her life to like understand certain things.
Right.
And so when I found out about that, like I tried to make her, and I actually wrote a poem about this.
Okay.
But I write poetry.
I was just going to say, we got another poet, y'all.
And so I started to, when I found that out, I'm like, okay, I had to do my research. I started to do charts for her, and schedules. So everything, like her life, I made her life so easy by making sure everything was structured. And because I didn't want her to deal with that difficulty, But as she got older, she started to like compare herself to her brother. And I remember telling her one day, and I said, well, he's different and you're different. You're different in your own way, and you have your gifts just like he has his gifts. I said the only difference is that you're just gonna have to work a lot harder than the average person. But you're gonna find so much joy and so much like appreciation. You're gonna hold on to anything and everything that you accomplish, right? So let's just say this: she's a high school graduate,
right?
She's in nursing school right now.
Ooh, shots out.
She also, and a lot of people may look at this as, as something, but it took her 11 times to take the CNA test. And she passed on the 11th time. 11th time. When you say, like, didn't give up.
Man, baby.
She kept going.
Yes.
She was like, I'm going to keep going. She even took the CNA training a second time.
Wow.
She kept going back to the drawing board trying to change some things.
Right.
Like, I'm going to study during this time.
Yes.
Or, if that didn't work, I'm going to study during this time. Or I'm going to give me a tutor. I'm going to ask for help. Like, she did not quit.
Kept
and
finding
that was
different
so
ways.
inspiring to me. I was like, okay, now that's dope.
Right.
Because I would be like, forget this CNA stuff.
Right.
I don't want to do this.
What else you got for
I
me?
don't want to be no nurse either. I'm good. Social worker, where you at?
Oh my God! Right. Shut out, baby.
So I think when I think about her story, and I think about my story, I'm just like, when I failed, I wasn't like that.
Right.
I didn't keep going. I kind of like be in my pity party, cry.
Bag up.
Like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? And I didn't know. She kept going. She kept going. And like I told her, like, that's inspiring for me. And then to not be ashamed of it. And another thing, I was in nursing school. I didn't finish because I was like, I can't do the sciences and stuff. I took anatomy and physiology twice and failed it. She took it one time and got a B. Come on now.
Right.
ADHD what?
What?
Comprehension disorder where?
It be making you say that's a good thing though to me. I feel like because it really make us dig a little bit deeper, and it really make us go to the drawing board. Like, hold on, I can get this. I know I can do whatever it is I want to do.
And I sometimes I talk to her. We talk every day, and I look at how she's also a mother, so I'm a grandmother.
Right.
And she's doing the same thing with my grandbaby. That she see me do with her for her. And the way that she's structuring her life, she has her laundry days and she has her cleaning days. Right. She cooks dinner and she has reading days for the baby. And they go to the park and then they have play days. I'm like, look at that structure. So that right there, that's success, in my eyes when it comes to like falling down and getting back up.
Yes.
And just showing people, like, not even just showing people, but proving to yourself you can do it. So, that my story got nothing on that.
Right.
Right.
But look, she learned it from you, so yes it do. Look. Right. Your story somewhere down the line inspired her, and now she's inspiring you. That's love.
I always tell my kids all the time, utilize your resources wisely.
Yes.
And however they look, you need to do it. If they it should be no reason why a lot of us are out here struggling with certain things, because there's a lot of free information. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of resources out here to help us get to where we need to go. And that's exactly what she did. She utilized her resources.
And for me, I feel like a lot of the younger people or the different generations now, like the 90s and 2000s, they don't be playing about their research. They'll pick up that phone, call somebody, did you know? Well, what you think? I'm like, I'll be looking at my kids when it comes to that, and I'll be just so proud of them as well. Like, wow, because I sure would have been sitting there like, I gotta do this, let me see. They be like, no, Mom, just here, use this. Like, okay.
Yeah, their life is a little easier.
Yes.
A lot easier than ours was.
Yes.
And I can definitely appreciate that.
Yes. Because, like I said, it makes me go back and look like, okay, well, show me.
Right.
Show me. How did you get that?
Right.
But yeah, so like I said, when it's flipped and they've learned the information from us, and now we going back and learning something from them. That is so beautiful, y'all. Take heed to it, y'all. We have kids for a reason, so really utilize them.
You can learn from them.
Yes.
You can learn from them, and it's like as much as they learn from us, like they owe us anyway.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
Laughs are very serious.
Okay, so I was actually, you already kind of told us what kind of tools you use when it's you going towards your goals. So tell us a little bit more about it. You kind of tapped into it a little bit. But.
Yeah. So I will say this. I can actually add a little bit about the beginning of my recovery. So before Fight AAA became a nonprofit or a thing, I was doing some self-healing. I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for my inpatient detox treatment. I was there for about 3 weeks. So that's utilizing the resource. You know, I needed help. I went out of state. When I came back, so I knew the cause of a lot of my issues was my anxiety. Okay. So I wanted to know more about this thing called anxiety. I'm like, okay, what is this thing? Like, why is it creating so much chaos in my life? Right. So I actually took this 5-week workshop. It was for social anxiety. So it teaches you about your social anxiety and how to navigate in social settings, and didn't even know nothing about a Fight AAA or anything, or what I was going to start doing later on. But I started to, he was giving us these challenges, and I would have to go into the community, and I would have to like just start small talk with people, and, or I had to do a speaking engagement. One day I did a speaking engagement at Pieces of Me. Shout out to Sabrina. Aww. And I shared my story. I was nervous, but it was one of the challenges that he gave us. So I learned a lot about anxiety, and I also went and took a certification class. So I am an anxiety management coach. So I help individuals create anxiety, management plans for their anxiety, whether it's just anxiety as a whole or social anxiety. So if they're struggling with getting into rooms or navigating certain situations when it comes to like conferences or speaking engagements and things, like I give them like basically the same thing that the one gentleman helped me with. So it helped me, yeah. So I did that along with there was a lot of I didn't know about self-love. Okay. Because I had utilized alcohol so much, and I allowed individuals to love me in incorrect ways. Right, yeah. So I had to learn what that looked like to love me. Right. So I took a self-love class. And it was a workshop, and we did art, and we talked about our struggles and our traumas. And that workshop helped me so much because it helped me to connect some things. Right. And not only that, I took another workshop. It was a self-love through God's eyes. Okay. And Tramika, I forgot her last name. I think it's Tradell, but she was the facilitator of that workshop, and she basically taught us how God sees us, in the Bible, and that helped too. So I utilized all of these different things to kind of help rebuild and help heal me from the inside out. Along with therapy, along with having a sponsor, along with going to AA meetings, so I did that self-work. And I still do that self-work today. Like I still have a sponsor. I still go to AA meetings. I still I pray. I go to church. I have my discipleship sisters group. I also have my accountability sisters group. Okay. So I intentionally do these things because I know I need it. Right. And later on, as time went on, that's when Fight AAA kind of came about. I was fasting and praying, and God was giving me all of these tools and things, and I'm like, okay, it worked. This connect with this, and this. I already did work, you know, so now I'm helping other people,
yes,
you know, build their lives and find that resilience again from their hurt, their pain, through their trauma. Yeah.
From the inner out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, it's nice. So how do you decide when you've made it professionally as far as success?
I would say when I've accomplished, I wouldn't even say when I accomplished goals. I think when I've made people, no, I wouldn't even say that either. Let me see,
take your time, baby.
I really don't know the answer to that. I think it's,
well, you know, it's your decision, and your decision is based off of what God say. Stop right here.
I think
I was so professional.
Right. I think it's more of, excuse me, the
To me, it sounds like you already made it professionally. I'm not going just to listen to your story.
I would say that, but I think it's more of, okay, here, this is what I want to say. When you've known that you made an impact on people's lives, when I hear from people that my story or something that I've shared, a tool that I use, has helped them,
yes,
I think that's when I can say, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't even care about the numbers no more. I used to care about the numbers. But if it's only one person, that's enough for me. Yes. And then for a person to come and so most of the time you don't even have to tell me the impact that it has had on your life. Most of the time I make sure that I'm moved by God before I put anything out. I don't want to move out of position. Right. You know, every time that I'm one of them individuals, as soon as I get out of position, something bad happens. So I'm like, no, I can't do nothing. Right. So I think that's one of the things that I make sure that whatever I put on social media, that it aligns with my purpose and that God has pushed me to do it. That I feel it in my soul that I'm supposed to. I try not to hold a lot of things in, right? Because I know what it can do, right? And even if it sometimes it can be TMI, and I really don't. Most of the time, I don't care. It's like, right? Hey, if it's TMI, maybe it could be TMI to somebody else. They need it, you know, for their TMI, you right? Know, help them. So.
Wow. So how did you find the balance between striving for success and actually enjoying the journey?
I think even working, you know, in corporate, I try to make sure I take those self-care days and mental health days. You know, we got AL balances and sick leave balances, and I use it. I definitely use it. Yep, I use it. And then when it comes to like my businesses and things, doing what I do with helping the people is therapy for me. So whenever I'm planning an event or something, and I'm doing something, we're just planning or working with, partnering with another organization or with people, I love that. So that's like success to me, to be able to collaborate with other individuals, connect with other people, share your story, share my story, hear their story, and just come together and like make something happen. Like I love that. I love that. And what's so crazy is that my social life look a lot different now. Most of the time, it's like I want it to be more of a meaningful conversations that align with my purpose. Right. Meaningful rooms that align with my purpose. You know, if I'm stepping out of it, that maybe that's just my flesh right there. So yeah. But you know, most of the time everything is aligning with what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
That's beautiful. Y'all hear that? Alignment. Yes. I love it. So we're getting ready to wrap this up. Again, thank you so much for coming on and just sharing.
Yes. I enjoyed myself.
Yes, me too. Me too. I even took some notes on my own. Look.
Of impact.
Yes. So, okay, wrapping this up, what kind of, or what would you tell someone else, or what kind of advice would you give to someone who is actually working towards success?
I would say give yourself grace, of course. There are going to be times when things are not going to go your way. Always go back to the drawing board, try again, do something differently, but give yourself grace. Also, celebrate the small wins and the big wins, and do whatever it is that you need to do to celebrate. Like I said, for me, I try to celebrate everything,
Right.
and also ensure that you are taking care of yourself, in resting.
Yes, that's the big
when you
one.
need to rest. Listen to your body. Another thing, utilize your resources.
Yes.
Definitely utilize your resources. Don't try to do everything by yourself, because there's a lot of people out here that are waiting to help. Yep. They're willing to help, waiting to help. You just gotta step outside yourself and be able to reach out for that help.
Yes, beautiful. All right, I ain't done yet. Okay. I said almost. Right. Nah, I'm just playing. But this is the last question for real. Okay. Is it possible to be successful without being happy? What do you think?
Yes, I think so. Success doesn't mean happiness. We look at celebrities. Yes. A lot of them are successful when it comes to the amount of movies they put out or what's in their bank account, but a lot of them are struggling mentally.
Yes.
Happiness it comes from how you feel within. Yeah, look, we already know. Yeah. It's an inner thing. It's something that you really gotta tune into. A lot of people want success before they know who they are.
Yes.
And and I think it can become, and I see this a lot, especially with like social media. People become successful and then they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't know how to do. And I would say for myself, sometimes I kind of struggle with some things. So you definitely got to get to that place of knowing who you are internally, loving yourself, and finding that happiness without the monetary things, the materialistic things. Because once those things are gone, what do you have? You gotta look into yourself, or for me, I look to God, and I know somebody told me one day is that you gotta make sure that you are able to tap into something that's readily available whenever, wherever.
Yes.
Beautiful. Whenever, wherever. So if that's writing, for me it's writing.
Right. Okay.
So I always want to make sure I have a pen with me. Okay. Because I'm writing on anything. I don't need a paper, but I need a pen.
Hey, give me a napkin.
Exactly. You see, my hand.
Or a piece of tissue.
Yes, right?
Oh, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Once again, can you go ahead and tell the guests how they can find you and tap into some of your tools that you out here having and you're willing to share with others?
Yes. So currently right now, I'm actually going to be doing a rebranding, and then so I am on Facebook, all social media platforms. Tashemia Dean, Coach Miss T, Facebook, Instagram, as well as TikTok. I also have some things coming up. I'm just trying to get some things in order when it comes to just events and things.
Right.
And also workshops.
Right. But it's coming, baby.
It's coming.
Baby.
Now being patient. Learn to be patient.
Yes, that's when it comes, and it just be so beautiful.
Yes.
I've been patiently waiting. Now it's here. All right, you all. Thank you for joining us and tapping in to hear Tashemia's story. If you don't mind, please go like share and subscribe to Love, Strength, and Love. She have so told us and shared with us how she definitely strengthened her love, and now she out here sharing the love for us.
I love everybody.
Look, me too.
When you see me, it's gonna be a smile and a hood. For real.
Yes, and you already know it's gonna be giggles and let's yes. All right, you all. Thank you once again for watching. Please, like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you all later.